Good morning. Hey there. So I'm here in Bend again, my fun little office. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about being a partner to a man when he has issues with erectile dysfunction. So many men talk to me about their performance issues, concerns about erections, concerns about other parts of their sexuality. And they feel very much in their heads. They feel nervous. They feel inadequate often. But the people who are struggling as well are their partners. If you're a partner to a man who's having problems in this area, what he might call performance, what the commercials call, and the medical establishment calls erectile dysfunction, then what do you do? Excuse me, if you're in a situation with your partner and your partner's a guy and he has trouble staying hard during sex, what do you do? Or he can't get hard. So how do you handle that as his partner? One of the things I know often happens that I would really recommend that we don't do is that we just pull back sexually. We decide maybe we shouldn't do it. It's not right. It's awkward. We recede, we become less connected to him sexually and less connected to ourselves as well as a result of that. So don't recommend that. What I do recommend are a few specific things. And one is, the first one, don't take it personally. Lots of people who are partners to men, say you're a woman, you're a partner to a man, and he gets soft during sex or isn't able to get an erection, you may find that you think it's because of you, because for the myriad of things that you criticize yourself about, you think maybe that's why he isn't hard, because you don't like your breasts, maybe you feel like you put on weight. I hear this all the time in my work. You think that there's something about the way your body works. Maybe you don't think you're sexy enough or sexual enough, or there's something about, your genitals that aren't right. You somehow decide that it's your fault and that his lack of erection has to do with you, and that it's, you take it personally. So please don't take it personally. It isn't personal to you. And the more that you do take it personally, the more that you and he will go on this downward spiral. So the second thing I recommend is to be reassuring, but not condescending. So just let it be natural, because this is a part of sexuality that happens to so many of us, that we have some way our body is that we don't like. And in this case, it's your partner who doesn't like the fact that he isn't as hard as he wants to be. So be reassuring, but don't treat him like he's a child or something like that. Be reassuring.
Unknown caller.
Sorry, but not condescending. The third thing is to have an open mind about things that he might do. So different types of techniques that he might use to resolve the problem. So maybe he wants to try ED meds like Viagra or like Levitra or Cialis. Maybe that's what he wants to do. Be supportive of that. Maybe he'd like to try a vacuum pump type of a thing. It's awkward for him to try these things, particularly things like the pump or penile injections, or, if you're down the road, penile implants. These things are awkward for him, and it's hard for him to feel as comfortable about himself when these things are happening. So please have an open mind and let him have a conversation with you, maybe even bring this up with him, like how are you going to, together as a couple, work on this concern? The next thing is consider offering more frequent sex. And that may seem a little counterintuitive, because we kind of think, if I have more sex, then I won't be as hard. Like if I'm harder, if I'm a guy, if I have less frequent sex, then I'm going to be more turned on because I haven't had it in a while, and then I'm going to be able to get harder. But that's not usually the case. What oftentimes happens is that guys who don't have frequent enough sex, then it becomes very high stakes for them. So offer more frequent sex, so that if there's an ED problem or something happening, it's just not the end of the world. Again, it's just proportional. It's okay. Next time it'll be different. Maybe it'll be better next time, maybe not. And even not defining it as better or worse, just letting it be what it is, because it's an experience the two of you are having together. You don't have to have a hard penis to have a great sex experience. Which brings me to the next little thing that I think is helpful for us, is to decrease our expectations about hardness, right? So that isn't a mandatory part of sex. So decrease our expectations, and then also offer ways to connect, ways he might please you that don't include a hard penis. So how could you two play together without having a hard penis be part of it? And there's all sorts of things that could happen. Obviously, you could have oral sex, you could have manual sex, you could use dildos. There's lots of things that you could do in your sex life that would not require you to have him be hard as part of that. The final thing that I suggest is, if these things are on your mind and you don't know what to do and you're kind of struggling with this whole thing, in the comments, I'm going to put a virtual coffee call kind of link. It's a free call with me. You feel free to use that. Get onto my schedule, and we'll talk for 30 minutes. We can talk about what it might look like in your life to deal with this issue that so many of us are having in our relationships with men, and how to do it in a way that doesn't cause your partner to feel more anxiety, get more in his head, feel more upset about himself, and to create the two of you, create a kind of a limitation between the two of you, kind of some kind of a barrier to really being present, because that is the key to every single wonderful moment that you're going to have together. And that is being really present, no matter what's going on, whether he's hard or not. Talk to you tomorrow.